Today's episode is brought to you in part by Amazon. Everyone loves the convenience of shopping from home. Amazon helps you do just that. Shopping for new computer components, the best gaming peripherals, or even pre-built PCs, there are always new and interesting finds on Amazon. Right now, you can get free 2-day shipping with a free trial of Amazon Prime that you can cancel anytime. Plus, you can help support us, Defense of the Patients, by visiting defenseofthepatients.com and clicking through the Amazon banner on our website. Just click the banner and do your shopping. No additional charge to you. No, nothing, really. Amazon provides support to the Defense of the Patients just for telling them that we sent you. So remember, before you shop on Amazon, visit us at defenseofthepatients.com and click on the Amazon banner on our website to support the show at no cost to you, only benefit to us, and presumably Amazon. Thanks, guys. Now here's the show.
Hey, Ursinity, take it away.
Hey. Oh, okay. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to everybody's favorite Sven podcast.
Sven,
this
okay.
is a podcast.
Well, aren't we normally supposed to do a podcast that we aren't, and like that's the gag?
That's true. That is a gag.
So
Let's see.
You gotta come up with another one.
Today is everybody's favorite bat flipping podcast. We're going to talk about defunct practices in Major League Baseball and how bat flipping is very rarely done and frowned upon, but is pretty freaking cool, and I like it.
Wait, shit. Explain what you're talking about, because I think what is it?
So in the MLB, you're not supposed to bat flip. It's considered like disrespectful.
I don't know.
Basically.
I still don't know what that is. So thanks for that explanation.
So like after you get a hit, you like toss your bat, basically.
Oh, totally. You get that shit out.
But some people did it like with flair and whatnot.
And then they killed a grandmother or something, and they were just like, we don't like grandmas
like
in baseball, but the Grandma Association got really upset, and it became this whole thing. It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, basically. But I would have like done my research if that was actual intro, but that was one I'd been toying around with because there's one MLB player that's been bat flipping, and it's like, oh boy, he actually does it. But it's cool. I like bat flipping.
I thought we were talking about turning bats over, and I brought like a bunch of like cause like that's the bats I had in the background, and now my room is just like covered in what's known as guano, which is a fun word, and I feel really fucking stupid. And
after that joke, all I hear are crickets.
I just mess everything up.
That's okay. So we'll move on. We'll talk about everybody's favorite thing, Dota 2. This is, of course, the first Theorycrafting Thursday in the glory of 7.06.
Yeah,
we say glory, but like, who knows? It's something.
Give it a week, and everyone's going to be like, I hate Sven, and I hate Luna, and I hate that I can't play any carry that can't mass farm. But for now, we love it.
It's been a day, and I hate Sven. But other than the Sven stuff, I'm fine with the patch.
Pick Timbersaw.
No,
he's not fine. He's broken. But Timbersaw is actually like, I just ban Timbersaw every game, and it is great because you know what's a great counter to a hero gaining 40 strength?
Taking
it out, making sure that they don't actually have that much strength anymore, and then forcing them to BKB literally anytime anything happens. And then you're like, oh, let me get 6% Whirling Death attribute reduction, hey! Going back to that voice that I already did. And it lasts 14 seconds, it has a 6-second cooldown, and then you buff it by 6%, and then you get like an Octarine, and you can get like 3 stacked up all the time, and this Sven's like, oh, actually my highest attribute is now agility, of which I have like two gain, which sucks, and it sucks.
Yeah, but you know what you could do with Sven now? You
just kill everyone?
No, well, because of his ult, you get 40 strength, right? You could get an E-Blade, and it would be crazy strong.
Holy shit, demo mode right now.
Yeah, demo mode, 5 hearts, or 6 hearts, plus your ult. You could do like 1 billion damage with an E-Blade.
And then you stun too, and you get this Stormhammer cooldown thing. Like, this is, alright, level to max. And we're going to make a dummy enemy. All right, what's our item build here? I know the skill build's strength.
We have to be realistic with it?
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah, no,
so
totally. So
realistically, 1 heart.
Okay, we have to start in order, right? Like, what am I actually doing here? Treads. We'll do S and Y, because that has a lot of strength on it compared to Echo. And S and Y, like, a lot of people do like it.
BKB,
so, like,
Blink.
Mask, S and Y. Where's this fucking S and Y at, dude? Do you even know? S and Y, BKB, Blink. All right, BKB, and then Blink.
How many do we have open?
Where the fuck is Blink? After that, we only have 1, so we'll just get the E-Blade. Like, no crit or anything. I mean, we do want the Blood Thorn, but we'll get rid of our S and Y for that later. Like, that'll be the transition. Or I guess maybe get rid of the mask. I mean, okay, no, you want to get rid of the mask for Heart. So we're talking about this kind of, like, later game in the E-Blade actually has 40 agi, so that's enough attack speed, so you're not actually wanting for an attack speed item. You're allowed to get rid of the Mask of Madness and flip that into a heart. And then after that, we get the... what item am I... oh, yeah, I don't have Blink on me right now. Okay, so I get the Blink. All right, so what are we dealing with now? Okay, so now I'm gonna... let's level up this enemy a little bit so they don't die in 2 seconds. All right, let's see how much health do they have now. I should have just spawned a dummy target. They have 1,600. Well, they're going to take more damage than that for sure. This is a very legitimate build I've just made. All right, so it's level 25 axe, 2,040 health. All right, so we're going to ulti. All right, that was 1,000 damage. That sucks. Let's never do that again.
Okay, well, I think we need to do it in an actual game.
I do have 230 strength, though, so that's something, right? 235?
Yeah, that's some. Okay, that was fun. Anyway,
Yeah,
that was
a
weird way to enter the show.
It's
I'm
a
glad
lot
we
of
tested
damage,
that.
though. That's hilarious, but not good in any respect.
Yeah, yeah, I've been known to build E-Blades a bit too much, so
Yeah, well,
I will not
okay.
do that on Sven. I recently built a Drow E-Blade to end a game. It's pretty fun.
That's okay.
Let's see. So the format of today's podcast, we're going to be doing our highlights and our experiences in 7.06. Now that both of us have played, how many games have you played? Probably like a dozen.
Yeah, about that much. I'd say that's a fair estimate, and most of them were on Sven. So
okay, yeah, my one actually a decent variety of heroes, but a lot of Bane. But I've played around 10 or so of the patch. So now that we've actually gotten to playtest the patch, what would you say is your standout first one? Can be Sven, I guess.
Number one favorite change, creeps respawning. That's great.
Yeah, God
Very
bless
into
it.
that. Shit, I wrote a note to myself.
It just feels right. While you look for that note, it just feels right to have the creeps back every minute. I really, and especially like they give you 20% less of everything. So it doesn't feel as farmy as it was like back, like pre 7.0. But it does still feel very satisfying, and I feel like there's a lot less times where I'm caught with nothing to do, basically, where it's like, oh, my farming rotation was off by a few seconds, and I'm just like sitting in the forest waiting for things to respawn because it's 3:52, and there's 8 seconds of nothing while I wait for 4-minute mark or whatever.
Yeah, it's like playing support feels like supporting the safe lane feels so much better, dude. It feels so much better. Like I was Jakiro and I zoned someone, and I was like, shit. Zoning took a little too long, and then they slowed me, so I couldn't do the stack pull. Oh, that's fine. I'm gonna go do it next minute. And then I did. And then I got the bounty rune, and I was like, holy shit, I'm so good at Dota 2.
Yeah, agreed completely. I have had the big thing I've noticed is that like if something blocks my camp, it's like it used to be a hunting thing where it's like, all right, well, you block my camp, and now I have to not use the cur because I'm mid needs bottle. Yeah. Then I finally get cur. It's like, all right, I've already missed the 2 minute and the 4 minute,
like if you
and the
miss,
0 minute.
If the 3 minute stack is blocked, like legit, you haven't been able to stack pull for 5 minutes, and the offlaner has had like the wave just fine the entire game. Like it's just if it's blocked once, like it needs to get blocked for you to know it's blocked, and then you're just fucked.
Yeah, absolutely. So
where is the paper that I wrote that thing on, dude? Do you even know?
I've also liked because I like AM a lot, but I had terrible success rate on AM the last couple patches. But
yeah, but this one he's actually decent. Like he actually farmed.
Yeah, I mean, I did lose my game, but I felt very strong in it up until like other things went poorly.
Oh, I agree.
It was definitely a return to form for AM. I thoroughly enjoyed it
for sure. So normally we like list out things that we like, and then like go back and forth, but we didn't do that, which kind of sucks.
That's fine. I mean, we're just gonna talk about our experiences. I mean, normally we do highlights, but now that we've had time to play the patches, normally patches are out like we don't even play them before we talk about them. So
I know.
I have enough games that I can just talk about games specifically and heroes specifically.
All right, dude. So many times I've lost the last hit on a tower because like I know how much damage a siege creep does to a tower. It's like 45 or 43 or something like that. So I always click towers before I actually attack them, especially now that when I right click something, it shows me the number of how much damage I deal. So easy to last hit towers, especially when like, the creeps are hitting their creeps and I'm just dealing with this catapult. So fucking easy. But now the catapult does like, I think it's 180 damage every hit, maybe 300. I'm not entirely sure. It's fucked me up every time. I'm actually so mad right now. I'm fuming. This is my fuming voice.
That's fair.
Okay. Thanks. I'm actually going to go into demo and see how much catapults do. Oh, wait, no. There's last hit exercises. I can go into there and see how much catapults do. I actually don't know. Yeah, a lot of the games, they just use the base of the units. So, like, when they change the catapult, it'll be changed in something that uses just, like, unmodified its stats, as far as I'm aware.
Okay, that makes sense.
Okay.
I've definitely... So I've not seen anybody toying around with the new Siege Creep dominating mechanics where, like, you can play Chanter and Enchantress and, like, basically farm Siege Creeps up at one point and then just, like, take a tower. But
yeah.
I imagine that would be pretty interesting to watch. I really haven't noticed that change that much, I'll be honest.
Dude,
like,
it's been real big for me, if I'm being totally honest.
It did. I did miss one Rax last hit because it did too much. That's thinking about what you said.
Yeah, it's not that big a deal, but that's definitely something.
Well, I just want my name to pop up, dude. That's what's important. They gotta know .p.ursi got killed that, right?
Yeah, no, that's fair. All right, how do I make this shit spawn? How do I make this shit happen? I guess I just gotta wait. Siege creep every wave on. Yeah, okay, so I should be good. We should be set.
Good. Let's see how's the difference. And we know it's 100% difference.
I gotta wait to the next wave. I'll be honest with you.
All right.
Sorry, buddy.
No, that's fine. How have you noticed? Think about creeps. Have you played much mid recently?
I've played a little bit. Have you noticed
the difference?
I played a druid mid game, and it was pretty good. The fact that I could rocket myself to level 5 was like a really, really big deal.
Yeah.
All right. How much damage? Oh shit. All right. So it has 1255. Ooh, it was about the same. Maybe it's not modified on this game. Maybe I'm just completely wrong. Anyway, I'll figure it out later.
Right.
It's pretty simple math to figure out how much it does, right? So I'm not going to do that right now because I'd embarrass myself, but, you know.
That's okay. Anyway, it's a difference. You'll notice. We could just do the math, but we're not going to do that.
We definitely could do that, but we're not going to.
Yeah, this is not a math podcast. That's definitely one podcast we will never be.
Yeah, that's not going to be accurate. That's not a thing.
Let's see. So, probably let's see. The thing that I've toyed around the most with since the patch, in vogue for me, I've been playing Bane and trying out the new Bane. And his changes, let's see, I'm going to pull up exactly what got changed. I've not actually built his Aghanims, but I was talking to Growdy Dota about it because he did build his Aghanims, and I did test it in a bot game. And as much as people are hyping up his Ags, like, oh man, 500 pure damage, level 25, 1.5 second cooldown, or 1.13 if you have an Octarine core.
Yeah.
But the thing is, you don't have mana to do that unless you have, like, Bloodstone and all these, like, absurd amount of things that you're never going to get on a Bane Elemental. So that was thoroughly underwhelming. I have obviously resigned the Aghanim Scepter to being a thing that I buy as a counter to heroes that have both BKB and Lincolns.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Recently, in one of my Bane games, the enemy team built 3 Lincoln Spheres to deal with me. And I believe they had 1 Lotus Orb as well. And they had BKBs. So they would Lincoln Sphere and BKB. I think it was a Sven. I'd have to pull up the exact game. But I couldn't do anything in 7.05. But now in 7.06, I would be able to say, all right, they're doing all this stuff. I want to buy Aghanim Scepter. And then I can actually do something about it. And I don't even know if at level 25 you pick the damage and heal on, what's it called, on Brain Sap. Like 100 movement speed at level 25 is ridiculous. That's his alternative. It's so cool. But yeah, I really do like Bane though. And I've been seeing other people picking Bane too, not just me. So I have thoroughly enjoyed it, and I can't wait for him to become meta so I can like throw it in everybody's face and mock them, because I've been saying this for months that like the hero is amazing.
Yeah, and all it did was take like changes to the game.
Wow,
to make
very
him good.
minimal changes. Very minimal.
The entire landscape of the game changing and changing out what offlaners are viable, what 4s are viable, kind of nerfing all 4s, honestly, that were defining the metagame, and completely changing out the set of carries. Those are like minor changes on what would make a hero viable or not.
No,
I always love when a hero gets a major change and someone's like, you guys should have listened to me when I told you they were always good. And it's like, buddy, the whole hero it got a rework and now it's viable. Like, don't pat yourself on the back.
I'm patting myself on the back because it's not a major rework. Do you know how
absurd you sound right now? Do you even understand how absurd you sound right now?
The basics of Bane are still the same, right? It's still the same hero.
The basics of Sven are still the same.
Yeah, and well, no, because his ult is fundamentally different because
Well,
now it
okay,
adds
the ult is-
strength. That's
okay,
an
the
entire
basics
extra
of
mechanic.
Luna are still the same, and now she's good. The basics of Anti-Mage are still the same, and now he's good.
Yeah, but that's because of like map changes more so than Bane, where it's just like, all right, the hero has some minor. I mean, I get what you're saying, but I disagree. I don't think it's like some.
Like the only thing that I'm lacking right here is the perfect parallel, but that just means that you would need to see a perfect example for you to like.
Okay, so
agree.
so here's my point. The game
right,
has
let's hear it.
changed more around AM than it has around Bane.
Yeah, that's a very easy point to grasp. I definitely was able to parse that.
Like minor meta shifts support Bane
Minor?
rather than large scale map changes support Luna and AM being better.
Okay, but like, all right. So the fact that ABBA is good is like was almost entirely based on meta, right? Like ABBA himself didn't really change; he was always like this, but like it was almost entire meta that like brought him into it. And I'm saying that because now like the 4s are way different, which means the 5s are way different. Now there's more room for a hero like Bane. Like I really would be uninterested in a hero like Bane over like a 5 like Dazzle or something, because my 4 is going to be a Monkey King or an Earth Spirit or a Slardar or something like that. But if those heroes are taken out and we're more inclined to do these like, you know, in between 4 and 5, like I'm okay with having a Rubik and a Jakiro on the same team now, maybe, and my 5 or my 3, I don't even know what my 3 is going to be. Maybe like a bristleback, or not a bristleback. It's Enigma's a good 3. I think Darkseer is still good. Axe is okay, sure. But yeah, like if the off laners are going to change up and the 4s are going to, like, that just means like a different cast of heroes. And if there's 2, like if you're not quite as locked into a certain kind of hero for your 4 or your 3, like that's when you can play Bane because you can play other heroes that complement him. Versus before, like I just don't think the set of 3s and the set of 4s that you were allowed to pick allowed you to pick a 5 Bane, or the 5s did not allow you to pick a 4 Bane at all.
Yeah, you definitely weren't playing 4 Bane before, but I believe in my
like
boy.
If you have Ricky
right?
4 and 5 Bane, like I think that's totally fine. But you need like a certain kind of 3 to back that up, and like I wouldn't do Ricky, Abba, Bane. Like that would be a shit combo. So like because of that, I would say like, oh, Bane's not quite as good because these heroes don't. Yeah. Anyway, I think you might be right that he may be good as like a pick. Like I like him as a pub support for sure. I don't think he's good in a competitive sense right now still.
He was getting picked in pro games,
I know,
even in
doesn't mean
7.05. I was watching
I think he's good. Yeah, I know he was trending or whatever, but that
He was trending. And
Yeah.
heroes, you know what happens? Heroes trend, and then they get entrenched.
Yeah.
No, that hero is not merely trending. A hero trends, and then
All right,
people
okay,
accept
he
that
can
they're
be good. I'm just saying. I'm just
Yeah,
saying.
the meta has changed to support him. That is true. But
There we go. That's all I want to say.
yeah,
I'm glad this entire podcast has been about me not being quite as jazzed about Bane, or just wanting you to be less jazzed about you being jazzed about Bane. That's really. I just want you need to be a little less happy, is what I want to say.
You
right
talk
now.
about Sven every week, so I got to talk about Bane every
No,
week.
I'm glad that we found like our new loves, but actually Lone Druid is back, and that's my number 2 on what I'm into. I have a new Druid build, and you know what it is? Maelstrom, and that's it. I just get a Maelstrom.
So 6 Maelstroms on Bear, 6 Maelstroms
No,
on...
what the fuck? No, I get 1 Maelstrom, and then so I have like there's no Midases. Midases is gone. Deso's gone. Radiance is gone. Everything's gone. We're done with everything. All we're gonna do is we're just gonna get like a couple of boots. I don't know, phase boots. Maybe we get I don't know, Orb of Venom, the fucking Blightstone, Bassi, Tranquil's on my hero. And so just get, whatever periodicals I desire. I want my Maelstrom as fast as possible, so if I don't need the regen on Druid, I'm not going to get my Tranquils. Yeah, and if I don't, like, I'm always going to get the Orb of Venom. There's no getting around that. I may delay the Blightstone because that's actually pretty expensive. I probably won't delay the Bassi, and I do like going Stout Shield on the Bear if it's a safe lane Bear, just because I like, because I'm not spamming Rabid quite as much. It is actually a little bit possible to delay the Bassi a bit. Like if I can get my Glove of Haste and then the Bassi, that's pretty ideal. Anyway, all I want to do is I want to get the Maelstrom, because you know what this patch is about? This patch is about absorbing the farm on the map as quickly as possible from your cores. And Deso doesn't absorb farm quickly. If you remember, like the way most people get to Radiance is they get like a Midas and then they try to like farm as cautiously as possible. And then like they wait a long time and then they get to their like Radiance and then they like split farm and shit. But it's like you're not absorbing an absurd amount of farm on the map. You're just like, as a 3, it feels like you are, because your 3 is normally not going to like take that much farm. But as a safe laner, it's like it's really not that much. It's just like Radiance burn only kills creep waves so fast, and then the hero with an Iron Talon goes pretty fast. But it's not that crazy. But a druid with Maelstrom and phase boots that's using rabbit off cooldown, not every time it's up, but like you blow through the fucking jungle. Like I can take an entire safe lane jungle, including the ancients, in like a minute rotation at 12 minutes into the game if I finish my Maelstrom up. Like it's wild fucking fast. And I can also take ancient stacks with my ulti. I go into ulti form and then press D, and I take an ancient stack, and I'm absurdly tanky. And it actually scales really well. Like the bear is super strong. So one of the main things that you need to think about in terms of adding talents is they added talent, sure, but they took away leveling stats. So you want to think about what heroes benefit the most and what heroes benefited the least from leveling stats. Like Sven actually gained a ton from 20 stats. Holy shit. Like once you get the 8 stats talent at 15, Sven goes wild. Spectre loved having out those stats. Spectre loves strength. She's okay with int. She loves agi. Like she loves getting like those overall stats. Slark also incredibly good with it. Lone Druid, you don't give a shit about your stats. Your bear gets nothing from it. Like I want to hit 16 on Lone Druid, and then I never want to level again, because that's when I got my last point of ulti, and then every level after that, all it did was give me stats and make me respawn longer, and like that sucks. So I just like I would honestly like Midas far away from my hero so I gain less experience sometimes if I was dying a lot. So because of that, Lone Druid, you say, okay, so Lone Druid, like he lost the stats, but what did he gain? Yeah, Rabbit's a bit worse than before, but it does give 10 more attack speed now. But he gains 250 health, 50 Spirit Bear damage, 12 Spirit Bear armor, and then whatever you want for your disable on level 25. So if you look at it from like before 7-0 hit, like yeah, 7-0 hit, and then there was this weird sniper thing, like just erase that off from your memory. What's the difference between the hero now? The hero gained 50 damage, 250 health, 12 armor, and the armor was a huge issue for your bear, and got the, whatever 25 talent you want to gain. Like, that's absurd. You gained 50 fucking damage at level 15? Holy shit. That's a fuck ton. And all you gave up were stats you didn't give a shit about. Whereas other heroes, like, yes, everyone's talents are super dope and cool, but they did lose the stats, which a lot of them did care about, especially carries, which is what you're comparing Lone Druid with. So I do think it's really good. You absorb an absurd amount of farm. Like, as soon as you get to 50 bear damage, holy shit, it's great. Anyway, love this hero now. And I've been going I go Mjolnir, Basher, AC, MKB, and then I'll get a second Basher like on my hero if my bear doesn't need anything in specific. And then I'm just like, I have Bash, Entangle, and a second Basher, and I'm just like, everything I fucking hit, it's just locked in place. Like a Sven, BKBs, I hit him once and he's just stunned forever, and it's beautiful.
So are you firmly in the camp that like this hero is back as like a safe lane, or in your case, sometimes a mid?
Or it's like, back as like a hero that I can play. I'd have to play with it a bit more, but I did feel really strong, and I was the safe lane carry, and I was against, let's see, what was I against? I was 10-1 and 14. My team was not doing well, and I was against a Wraith King, which can double crit my bear, a Bristleback who, like, it's really hard for a Druid to kill a Bristleback, honestly. Like, super, super difficult. He can turn during your Entangle, and it's really hard to reposition around him because you have 2 melee units. A Windrunner who is also great against the bear. Like, she can just, like, blink and then do her wind run, and you have to have MKB. A fucking Silencer, which honestly, Silencer's fine. And then, like, a Venge that's dropping my armor with her W and Medallion of Courage and stun and swapping people away from my bear. Like, this was not a good game to be Druid, in all honesty. But I still fucking, like, I did very well. Yeah, I think he's good. I think Lone Druid players can definitely play this hero now. I'm not sure if it's broken as shit. In a game with Sven, or rather in a version of Dota with the Sven and Luna versions that are in the game, I don't think I would pick Lone Druid over them if I was a generic player, but I know for a fact that, like, the fact that I'm a good Lone Druid player is something that I can leverage too. Like, if my Sven gets banned, I will first pick Lone Druid safe lane, and I'll feel very confident. And
yeah, it sounds interesting.
Like, that's a counter. That's as close to a hard counter as you can see. Like, right as the Bear Lone Druid was phasing out, like around when Liquid and OG were vying for winning a major against each other, that was like Fata picked Lone Druid mid, and they put Matumba Man on Wraith King, and they just two-shot the fucking bear. And it was like, oh no, that's a counter. Because the Wraith King, his crit works double on creeps. And like the day after they patched that in, they picked Wraith King against bear, and they were just like, oh, that makes sense. That's a good counter now. Lone Druid sucks. But the fact that I surmounted that shit is great. Because like he comes in, he wants to. You know what happens when someone tries to kill your bear? You fucking bash them, and then they can't do anything, and it's great.
And you Mjolnir bear, and then the bear is dishing out damage.
I actually didn't go Mjolnir that game because I needed to rush the MKB because I was against Wind Ranger and a fucking Radiance and a Solar Crest. And dude, Bristleback Solar. Dude, everyone has fucking evasion. I hate it.
It sucks. I agree.
Dude, like, I'm playing Sven, and I'm like, oh, I really want to go dataless this game. One person does 20% evasion, so I'm going to need to go Bloodthorn or MKB, and fuck, I don't want to go MKB.
And it might also have the surprise talent that's like 15% evasion
also,
or some cheeky crap like that.
Yeah, Lifestealer decided to go 15% evasion, and you lost a kill on him one time because of it, so now you have to make sure that never happens again. Dude, Sven has 20% evasion. I go that talent every time now. I'm just like, I'll take 20% evasion, sure. And like, what the fuck?
I'm firmly agreed with you there. I almost chose 15% evasion on AM Iron AM today because I was like, if I do that and then I don't go Butterfly, they're not going to build MKBs.
Yeah,
then the Sven's going to miss me.
Yeah, God, it's unreal stupid.
It sucks. And okay, so Solar Crest, they changed how applying a Solar Crest to somebody works, and they're like, oh, it gives 25% True Strike. Yeah. That 25% True Strike is not like negative evasion.
I told you this on
it's
nonsense. On the Patreon podcast. Yeah. I was listening to you.
I want to clarify for everybody else.
Solar Crest disables, or Solar Crest is like, it counters out their Solar Crest, like, Someone said, go Solar Crest against PA so that she dodges us. I'm like, it brings her from 50% to 38.5%. That is not... That's not a big deal. Like, that's still, like, if someone's dodging 40% of your attacks, like, you still need an MKB, I'm sorry to say.
Yeah. And they were saying, okay, so somebody did the math. I mean, it might have been you on the show that we did.
I'm sure it was.
# support us on Patreon. It was something like it only makes a 6% difference, or you only have a 6% increased chance to hit against somebody that is Solar Crest, that has Solar Crest evasion.
Yeah, it brings it
because it's just 25% of the thing of the percentage that you're already missing. It's just nonsense.
It's not like armor where it's just like, oh, this person is going to take like 25% less damage. I mean, the fact that it's not like armor is multiplicative. Each armor that you add adds 25% of, or adds 6% of your effective HP to your pool. So like, if you're at 50% mitigation, your next armor isn't going to make you take 6% less damage. It's going to make you take 3% less damage. Anyway, or rather, that's like the number that's going to show up. 3% less damage than you did before at the value of 50 armor. Like going from 50 to 51 armor, 3% less damage. Going from 0 to 1, 6% less damage. But evasion, it's just like, oh yeah, all those defenses, you're just going to take also 25% less damage just in addition to those defenses. And you're like, holy shit, that's fucking good. That's really goddamn good.
You know what I learned this patch? Patch? There are two different messages for missing. There's evade and miss.
Dodge. Evade is dodge. Uphill, yeah?
No, evade, I believe, is when they have evasion.
Okay, and miss is when you have, like, Coddle fucking blind on you.
Yeah, or if they're uphill. Okay. It's something like that.
Miss was when you fucked up. Evade is when like it was their deft nature and immense prowess as a warrior that caused your blade to miss.
Or their ally solar cresting them.
Yeah, one or the other.
Yeah. That's definitely one of the big shocks for both of us was just that Solar Crest was not nerfed to at least a reasonable part. I just hate evasion. I hate evasion much.
I was listening to the patch note review, and it seemed like the idea was that you don't like it because it's like RNG, but I don't like it because of the way that it directs my item builds. Like,
yes, I agree with that too.
I just hate having to build Bloodthorn and MKB every game. Like,
it's just that there's not enough counters to it.
Yeah, like if there's going to be this many swords, and there's no like minor counters to it. It's like you either have to commit. So like if someone has Radiance, I'm like, I just have to deal with this. Like I'll BKB and avoid the Radiance, and that's what I'm going to do. But if they have, they got Radiance, but then Alchemist picked up a Solar Crest, and now it's a bad, like now combined together, it's like 40% evasion. I'm like, Jesus, okay, so I guess I will go for the MKB, and I have my BKB and my MKB, and it's like, I don't know. And then the PA, or no, so then it's like they have a Radiance, and then there's a PA in the game too, and it's like, well, I could have Silver Edge and BKB on my Slark, and it's like, yeah, that's good. And then they're fucking also there's a Windrunner, so you actually need MKB, or you need MKB now instead, because the Windrun is actually being a big problem. You're like, maybe I just get the Bloodthorn and I silence her so she doesn't Windrun, or I just do it when she Windruns. It's like, fuck, just let me get out of this evasion-based hell. I'm not interested in it. I hate it. And there's a fucking troll, and I'm like, like how many sources of incremental evasion counters do I need? Can I BKB off the troll shit? Troll shit hits me. Do I blood? It's like, fuck. Can I just please build my items? Can you just build MKB into my talents on every hero? Like, instead at level 20, instead of every other talent, you can just pick to have True Strike. Like, can I please just have that? Please.
I agree. I could not agree more. It is a constant. It honestly makes me not want to play carry. Like, that sounds like an exaggeration, but that honestly, like, I'm playing carry and it just feels not fun because I'm playing AM and I'm like, all right, I'm trying to plan out my item build when, like, you accelerate because, like, your first few are obviously pretty linear. But then after that, I'm like, all right, I want to do this. I want to do that. I want to try out the Scotty build. I want to try out X, Y, or Z. Like, I built ACAM. I was like, oh, this is great. But then in some games, it's like, okay, well, I want to have fun, but they have evasion, and I don't want to lose, so I have to build this dumb MKB every single game, constantly, every game. It's just frustrating. And you can't counter it until very late, too. That's the thing. Like, there's no, like you said, there's no cheap counter, so like they have evasion... like the butterfly rushes on Shadow Fiend. Yeah,
I was going to say, like, the Shadow Fiend butterfly rush is so cool, but it feels so shit to lose against. Like, there's a lot of things that feel honestly fine to lose against. Like, oh, Shadow Fiend got a fast Scotty. Holy shit, he's so big. That's wild cool. But then, like, oh, he got a butterfly. And then, like, you go to attack him, you just kind of miss a couple shots. You're like, this fucking sucks. I'm flaccid as shit. Like, this is no good. Like... yeah, I don't know. I'm really cool. I feel like I just said I'm really cool. One of my favorite, I was going to say I'm really cool with, but then I changed it. I do kind of like that it makes the builds that I'm coming up with in the middle of these games very, very interesting. Like I'm against a Phantom Assassin or something, and I'm like, do I want to go a Silver Edge this game? No, there's other things in this game. Like, okay, I had a game where the items that I was interested in were Silver Edge, Silver Edge, Lincoln Sphere, and MKB, and I was like, okay, can I pair Silver Edge and Lincoln Sphere and like get a Bloodthorn later? So between Silver Edge and Bloodthorn, I can stop the PA. I don't think I can combine those three items. I could probably do MKB and Lincoln Sphere, or MKB and Orchid, and I went with MKB and Lincoln Sphere and try to go for an earlier kind of end with a relatively like a 35 to 40 minute like curve on my items, and then I would go like like Mask, and then I said like, okay, I can go Mask and then just like Windlace and get like a pretty fast BKB, and that would be like my like aggro, as I would just like try to get a good advantage there and then take it into like Lincoln Sphere, so I'm going to survive through a lot of fights, and that would build me up to get my MKB to like, oh, PA feels real strong, oh shit, one team fight, turns out I have an MKB, now she dies out of nowhere even though she thought she was like totally good to fight. Because she had been evading me this entire time. But then, oh man, MKB, kill her immediately, go take the Rex. And that's exactly how the game went. And I felt super cool for planning that all out that great. But fuck you, I wanted a Daedalus.
Yeah, I agree completely. Like, I mean, again, I cannot express more agreement that evasion is just not fair at the moment. It's just
I wouldn't say it's not fair.
Mechanic.
It's just obnoxious. Like, it's just fucking. I hate it.
Yeah, that's a better way to explain it. Yeah.
Okay. Tell me about. Tell me like what heroes. Okay, so it's really easy to just look at the trending and be like, oh, Sven's doing good. I guess Sven's good now. Like, it's really easy to do that, and I'm uninterested in that. What heroes do you think are, like, good and can actually take advantage of? Because, I mean, okay, so here's... Do you agree with me that, like, what we want to be looking for and what makes a hero good right now is the fact that they can, just rove through the jungle, be it taking stacks or just, like, very quickly just, like, vacuum up the entire... Like, I want a fucking Ferrari with a vacuum, like, with cleave, you know? Like, I want a cleaving vacuum in front of my Ferrari, you know? Like, I want,
like it has one of those plows in the front, and you're just wiping up like snow, but instead it's gold.
What's that? Like a little robot that's on the ground and it cleans for you. It like vacuums, a little vacuum robot.
A Roomba.
Yeah, DJ Roomba. Like I want DJ Roomba to get a record deal and get a Ferrari, and I want like DJ Roomba with his Roomba Ferrari, and I want him to go through the jungle. Like Sven can do that. He's a little bit like he's got it's more of like an 18-wheeler, but it still goes through the jungle and it takes over stacks in the way as well. And then there's Luna, which is actually just that Ferrari. Like, yes, it can go through stacks, but it's more I guess tooled to just like rove through the jungle lightning quick and take like every individual creep there. And then there's Anti-Mage, which is just like the Ovo from fucking Carboys that just like teleports everywhere and eats it all immediately. So like you want heroes like that, but what do you like outside of the carry? Because it's really easy to identify the carries that can do that. But what do you think as far as like supports or offlaners or mids that you're way more interested in that can actually just absorb an absurd amount of farm?
I played a Lena game and it definitely helped Lena out. TA.
Wow, Lena's good now? Awesome.
Yeah, well, I mean, she's like,
she's
another
still
one.
Good and really cool. Okay,
like both these heroes remain good, but that is something that
TA TA got nerfed, but also you can stack ancients every minute. Dope.
Yeah, another big mention, Tinker. Tinker taking stacks like it used to. Wild. You lose your lane, who cares? You just stack the jungle.
Yeah.
That's a big one. I haven't actually tested that yet and played around with it, but that's why old Tinker was so OP at some junctures. Was because it's like, all right, it literally kind of like Alchemist. It literally does not matter how his lane goes. He's going to have like 8-minute BOTs because his supports are stacked, or he stacks for himself even. It's also, I would say, probably a Meepo buff. Any of these heroes that can take the stacks pretty rapidly, as though Meepo needed to be buffed.
I'm not so sure how much I view this in terms of stacks, because stacks are like, okay, I will say, as far as safe laners are concerned, the fact that like I was playing Sven and I very easily made a 6 stack for myself, like 6 fucking hard creeps, like push lane up, stack, push, like is like training with fucking weights on. Like I'm fucking Piccolo and I've been like fighting against a double of myself this entire time, trying to like find a way to farm, and the double is my mid laner who's also absorbing all the farm. But then I like reabsorbed it back into myself, and now I have all the farm that I could take before, and I like shrug my weights off and I'm ready to fucking like kill Napa.
Yeah.
And like they're offlaner, I zone them out immediately because I'm used to that shit already. And then I just like push the wave up, stack it, push the wave up, stack it, and then I hit 6 at fucking like 5 minutes and 30 seconds, even though I was sharing experience, because I get incredible XP every time I deny a ranged creep. And then I just like ulti, and I ulti in front of their tower, they fort it. I managed to like bait their fort out, and then I pick up my fucking Mask of Madness because I can farm that. Now I can go like Treads Mask of Madness relatively quickly. And then I just eat the god, like I made a fucking like 6 stack for myself, and I just eat it at like minute 7 or some shit. Like it's unreal. And then I take the tower because I have Mask, Treads, and like half a Blink Dagger at 8 minutes.
That makes sense.
Which is not to say feels good, man, but it's great. It's better. Only white people say great, I've realized, by the way.
Really? Yeah, that's fair.
Someone said that to me once, and I was like, I say great, so I think that makes sense.
I say great all the time. It's a great word.
I mean, we're both, so I mean, seems pretty foolproof.
Yeah,
foolproof?
Definitely
foolproof.
Definitely, we have all the evidence, and it's proven.
You told me once that you fucked that up, and then ever since I heard that, I've never known. Is it foolproof or foolproof?
I believe it's foolproof.
I think so too.
Like even an idiot could do it, so it's foolproof.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Foolproof.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I forget what I talked about this on, but it used to go by in Dota 1. I played as foolproof for a while, and then my dad was like, "Sam, what is this? I think you mean foolproof."
Okay.
And I was like, "I'm tied to this name. I can't leave."
Grammarist.com. The adjective foolproof means infallible. Okay, and it's often fucked up. Yeah, okay. Common mistake. All right, good to know. Glad I could let you relive that.
Yeah.
All right. So what are you thinking of? What are the hot heroes? You said Lena. I wanted to look something up, but I forgot what it was. Now I'm like kind of depressed.
Lena and TA, they can flash farm those single camps. We're not counting the stack feature. I would say Naga Siren mid again, but the thing is, her illusions got nerfed in the damage they take, so it's not good.
That's wrong.
Yeah, I agree that it's wrong.
Shit,
that's
right.
why I didn't
was going to
say
check what is actually trending on Dota buff, so I could,
Storm
what are the
as
hot
well.
Takes? Yeah, Storm for sure. Storm is definitely hurt by the magic thing. But the main thing to think about now, I don't think, is so much that you can work off more stacks, but just the fact that like even if you're just taking one camp at a time, they come twice as much. Like you could still make stacks. It was hard, but if Storm was like, oh, I can only take a 3 stack, you could still make a 3 stack last patch. The difference is just like now you can take one camp and then one camp and then one camp, and you don't need to be as centralized about it.
Yeah. One of the things Moo was tweeting about
I'm interested in this. I love him.
He was saying how like just to stop buying Iron Talon, because the benefits you get from Iron Talon are mitigated by the fact that you're getting 20% less from that cooldown you're committing.
Yeah.
And
the cooldown on it is so long. Like, you only get one camp out of it, really, every minute. And
the
that
thing
one camp is worth less. What, Sam?
But they don't have 20% less health and whatnot.
Yeah, well, okay, so it's more like, is the Iron Talon the only reason you can jungle, or is it like an investment to make your jungle more efficient?
Faster?
Like, as an axe,
that makes sense.
Like, as axe, I would probably skip it now. I would rather just get that gold towards my Tranquil Boots immediately. Like, it's not as, if I'm going to be roving through 4 camps in a minute and a half, I would rather have that gold towards my Tranquil Boots so that I can do it forever, rather than like, I'm going to need this Iron Talon to take out this Ursa as efficiently as possible. Like, I'm just going to get the Tranquil Boots.
Yeah, I have seen, connected to the jungle changes, I have seen way more junglers in my games, specifically double jungles. I had a game.
Well, you're an unranked, so hey, that's what you
No, that
get,
was in
dude.
Compendium ranked.
Oh my god, never
this
mind.
game was actually
that was unranked, so.
Yeah. This game, well, it was ranked for those people. Like, those people were around that MMR and like legitimately could have replaced their MMR with their
cared about it,
thing. Yeah. But they're still they were double jungling. They were literally fighting over jungle. And I was like, literally nobody has clicked off lane or mid lane. But 2 people are saying, I want to Sven jungle and I want to LC jungle. It's like, but no. Dude,
Sven jungle? Nice.
Like, play lanes. Like, oh, God. Yeah, so yeah,
Sven's
I've had a
win rate
respite from junglers for a while. It's like 7%.
It's up by it's 6 point. I'm not even gonna not 6. Sorry, I'm not even gonna like hyperbolize or around. It is literally 9.61. The change. He's up to 57.36% win rate.
Wow.
I mean, to be fair, Spectre is only 8%. Spectre lost almost 2%. Spectre lost 1.84%, and she is now 56.62. So. Before this patch, Spectre had shit. That's like super simple addition. I mean, it's over what Sven is. I want to know exactly how much. So it's like 56.62 plus 1.84. Wow, math. Minus 57.36. Yeah, so Spectre still had 1% and 1/10 more win rate than Sven does now. So as pissed off as we are at Sven, let us remember that Spectre, who very few people complain about, had a 1% higher win rate than this before this patch.
I've been banning Spectre for like the last month. On all my pubs.
Dude, Spectre's like there's this certain thing about pubs that like the raw entropy heroes like Necrophos and Spectre and like Omni Knight or whatever, like the ones that just as the game trends toward chaos, they become absolute. Like those heroes are absurd, but Sven does not get better as the game trends towards chaos. Like as you need to initiate for yourself as Sven, like that's when shit gets sour. But like he's thriving, dude. He's fucking thriving. What a hero. I'm surprised Luna didn't actually go up that much. I don't know. Maybe in 5K it's different. I'd be interested in seeing that.
I just lost to a Luna.
She's good, dude. I've been playing Mask of Madness Luna, and man, that's so good. Like people say, oh, you get Dom now because you can stack for yourself. Like, shut up.
You don't get Dom.
Fuck
Dom sucks.
You. Dom's like you go.
I don't need
Mask
10
of
health
Madness.
regen. I need to run fast.
You eat the entire goddamn like map with 100 attack speed, and it gives like it's 20 damage and 10. Like, can I just say, okay, so look at how much. So originally I was actually kind of like I was hoping that I'd be really into the new mask that has 15 damage on it, because it went from a 900 gold item to a 1200 gold item, right? So the difference is 300 gold, and what you gained was 15 damage. So you say, okay, so I'm gaining 15 damage for 300 gold. Let's try to apply that to literally any other item in the game. The most efficient damage item, besides debatably Divine Rapier, right, is Blaze of Attack, which is a ton of damage. Like if you start going up, like how much Sacred Relic gives you, like that's not a great rate of exchange, right? That's like 60 or divided by 3,800. That's what you get. Fucking that's like a bad way to do it. You get 1 damage per like .15 or .015 gold. Like that's not a great exchange rate. But Blades of Attack is, what is that? 9 divided by 420, and it's like 1 damage for every point, like 0.2 gold or whatever. So that's like, I mean, that's like vastly better by like a large factor. I forgot what the other number was. Anyway, the point is Blade of Attack, super, super efficient, and that's 420 gold for 9 damage. I really don't need to tell you that 300 gold, which is like over a fourth less gold for 50% more damage, or over, it's fucking like 66%, like 2/3 more damage for 120 less gold. That's fucking absurd value. But it's super, like, if I'm in lane, like, you know when you're playing anti-mage and you're in lane, you're like, dog, I'm dying, I need this ring of health, like, now. Like, that's how I feel as Sven against Timbersaw, and I'm like, all right, I was winning at first, but I'm out of tangos, and I'm out of salves, and this sucks. Like, that's when I immediately need to get my goddamn lifesteal item to get my health back. But it's 1,200 gold, and that's a lot of money when I'm dying. So
well, now it's 1,100.
But yeah, no, so now it's 10 damage for 200 gold, which is still absurd. You know, that's half as much of a blade of attack, and it's 1 more damage. But it's like slightly more attainable, and it's kind of at that break point where like I almost always run out of regen exactly when I get my mask, and it feels so fucking good. And the fact that they changed mask so it has 10 attack speed on it, but 10 less attack speed in the Berserk active, like that's great. That doesn't mean it's nerfed. It's just like, oh, now I also have relatively decent attack speed when my mask is off. Like, oh, it's so good, man. I'm so into it. It's so strong.
Yeah. So my next change that I want to talk about is
why don't you talk for a bit? I'm sorry.
Is Beastmaster. Specifically, he is now a level 15 talent instead of, because they replaced all the respawn talents, which that could be a point in and of itself. Thank God they did that.
Dude, I'm so glad. That's like the least tone deaf. Like, this has been the year of tone deaf things from like humans who deal with other people, and like that, like, man, Ice Frog is not tone deaf, at least except for Evasion. But either of them, he's great.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. This was your turn to talk.
Regarding double runes at 40+ minutes.
Yeah, holy shit. That was like Twitter was like, I don't know about these Terrorblades that get a double damage rune, and then we were just like, yeah, you know what? We hate that too. And Ice Frog was like, what if every Terrorblade had a double damage rune at 40 minutes?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we haven't made high grounding easy enough through all these changes. Let's make it just a little easier. Let's take away all your shrines, and we're going to give the attacking team 1 billion runes.
Right. Has that changed, has shown up in your games? Like, have you experienced it? Because I definitely have incorporated it into my play.
I mean, I wouldn't say incorporated into my play. I'm just like, oh man, I clicked that by accident. I hope nobody notices.
Oh, I just took Sven's DD shit.
Yeah. Oh no, not the runes. I thought you meant the shrine change.
Oh, but, no.
None of my games have gone that late. Actually, one of them did, but we didn't have map control. So I remember at one point I got massacred by a Weaver that had double damage and haste. When I was playing AM.
Pretty much every time I go for Roche, I either have DD or an Arcane, I've noticed. And it's always like, I blow my ulti with an Arcane rune as Sven, and then I kill Roche in 2 seconds, and they're like, oh, they won't be able to fight because Sven just uses ulti. And then it's up again as soon as it ends, and then I fight again, and they're like, oh, that's unfortunate, that's too bad, well, we die now. Or I just get a DD, and I'm Sven, like, so Sven lost, like, was like 30 or 40% off of his ulti at like max, I think it was.
It's 40.
Yeah, he lost 40, so it's 20 per level, so it's, was it? No, it's 20 and then 10 per level after that. So he lost 20 and he lost 30 off of his second point, and then 40 off of his last one. Instead of 200% base damage, he gets 160, but he gets bonus strength. So like DD is super good on him now. It adds like 40 more damage than it used to. So like my DD on Sven is unreal fucking strong. So like I'm a Sven with a DD and God Strength. That's 260 damage increase. Plus I have 440 bonus strength. Holy shit. And I just fucking destroy everything. It's so good. You get a fucking like DD, and it's always DD haste. Like that's always what you get. And then it's beautiful and it's great.
Yeah, and then you get Magnus buff.
Yeah, and then you get Magnus buff, hey, because every time you pick Sven, someone's like, hey, what if you had more cleave? And you're like, that's not really how this game works, but they do it anyways. And you're like, well, I'll take it.
Yeah.
Sorry, you were allowed a point. I'm talking I want to apologize to all the listeners. I'm actually a huge piece of shit in real life, and I'm very sorry.
We are doing great, because I don't have as you have more to talk about than I do. Yeah. Okay, so back to Beastmaster. Soul Ring has been my fun item of the patch, I guess, because before it was like, why would you build Soul Ring? Like, you have to recipe, get that out, and you don't have to use the courier. But now it's like, all right, I started the game with a mango and, mango stout shield and like a tango salve. And then you just naturally build a Soul Ring, and then you start jungling, and you jungle super fast because you deal physical damage with your axes, and you can like clear jungle stacks even. And you can stack with your boars, which honestly, my Beastmaster game, I did not do because I was like, I'm rusty. I used to play a lot of Beastmaster, but not recently. But I'm excited to be playing a lot more of him as my offlaner of choice. I still don't think he's like as strong as some of the other offlaners that we see, and he doesn't scale as well with the amount of farm that some people get compared to like a Timbersaw, for instance, or even like a Magnus or an Axe for that matter. But I do really like Beastmaster as a hero, and he can do some interesting niche things that other offlaners can't, namely push.
Yeah.
And push alone even. So I'm definitely gonna be playing around with Beastmaster. The new Soul Ring honestly just felt so much more natural to buy. It is a tiny bit cheaper also, which, every little bit of gold helps.
Oh, for
but
sure.
But not having to use the courier
support
to get it is what makes all the difference, honestly.
Yeah, dude. The worst thing ever is you're fucking like your Dark Seer at 4 minutes right as you're finished. Like you finish your you as a mid, you get money for your bottle the exact timing that a Dark Seer gets their Soul Ring recipe, and you're like, is this really are you really gonna fucking do this to me, dude? Like, am I really just not gonna get my bottle because you don't want to surge yourself and walk towards that courier that's still not flying for no fucking reason? Like, it's unreal. But now it's great. Everything's great.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I agree completely. So yeah, that's been Beastmaster me. What's your next one?
I already talked about Lone Druid. I'm actually not into Lycan anymore because he's not a hero that farms. Like, he doesn't farm that quickly. Like, what am I going to go Maelstrom on Lycan? Maybe I'll pair it with like a Shadow Fiend that can eat up a ton of farm. But yeah, I'm not quite as into Lycan as I used to be. I want to say that maybe he's okay because he has so much base damage. It's absurdly easy to get denied. Like, he starts with 69 damage or some shit like that. If you put 1 point in E and like don't have any damage items with your starting gold. So maybe he's good just because he totally lane controls like a fucking boss. But I mean, Sven is like 62 too, so who gives a shit? I'm trying to think like what is my kind of standout. The Clink's change makes me cry. Honestly, I'm just most into like trying out new shit. And I want to talk more about like what because I think we kind of actually never talked about this. I like what heroes that you think are more viable because they can farm a shit ton of the jungle. Like what supports are you like? Oh, the fact that, because I mean, like Sand King as a support, I feel like is opened up again because there's that much more to farm. But like what other, like I feel like Jakiro maybe, because Jakiro actually does farm jungle absurdly fast. It's just like, last patch you just weren't allowed to. And see, like even though they nerfed the gold you get from creeps, because like CM before it would be like if you actually had supports, CM would like farm 2 camps super efficiently and then go back to lane and shit. But now it's like you got to farm 3 or 4 camps. But at the same time, late game, like mid game CM can actually be farming camps now. So I feel like even though she was hurt a lot by that, she's still good for it.
Yeah, I definitely have felt it on CM, and I've seen it on CMs recently since 7.06. CM's definitely a standout, but she was already meta, of course. Coddle is one of the heroes that I think of immediately that, he was popular for certain teams and certain players, but he kind of, wasn't super in favor. But with all the changes to the jungle and him having the accessibility to farm some camps here and there, I think he's definitely has the potential to be a rising star among supports, especially when we talk about the like support meta changes and how 4 and 5s are less rigid in the sense that he didn't work with a lot of the 4s that were meta.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Like, you would much rather pair a Crystal Maiden with a Monkey King. Because, like, Monkey King, he does have a stun to him, but he doesn't have, like, massive amounts of control. And CM is like, oh, you have Monkey King to stop their BKB or whatever, and the bashes and shit. But CM can also prefer, like, the skirmish route and like, a little slow in some team fight. But, like, Coddle is much more like you need a very specific thing to accent a Coddle. And because these changes are so new, like, anything can kind of work. It's not sussed out. And it's totally the time when a hero like Coddle or even like your Bane and stuff, like the ones that are a little more niche in what they need to synergize with them. One may even say verging on do nothing heroes. You can pair them with like whatever they need to be paired with. It's at least worth trying at this point. So I totally agree there. Coddle farms a shit ton in the jungle, dude. Like AUI, what is it? Like a 8-minute Ags or some shit like that in one of his games with like the old jungle.
Yeah.
That's the famous like, oh, Coddle.
Yeah, the
AUI, he got an Ags real early.
And then people tried to do it, and of course they mess it up.
Yeah, no, they get it at like 13 minutes, and they haven't bought a ward, and they have no boots. I'm like, got Ags, guys.
Yeah, I had one of those in my pubs recently.
For 4 minutes. Yeah.
Another hero that I think of, Witch Doctor, isn't commonly thought of as like a jungle support, but Cask does a crazy amount of damage to creeps.
Actually,
and you can do that, like, so Witch Doctor...
it stun locks them basically too, yeah?
Yeah, of course. And even Bane, like Bane just does a lot of damage. So
not everyone knows that Paralyzing Cask has a 5-second creep stun duration.
Yeah, Witch Doctor. Anyway, back on the point. What you can do is you can lane until like level 3 or level 5 because he's obviously a strong lane support, and you do your pulls. You're getting more XP nowadays, And then
Yeah.
you say, all right, like I need to get XP, I need to get mana boots, I need to get my ult, I need to get whatever. You want to have higher levels, so you have like max level Maledict, max level Cask. And he can actually do that pretty competitively, especially if you get certain camps. So camps like the Centaurs are better,
Centaurs,
right? Because
totally good.
Yeah, well, especially if you get the two of them, yeah. And also,
two,
you can
yeah,
just
'cause it
leave
just bounces back and forth. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. And you can just leave it and walk away. That's like what I've been doing on CM. Even sometimes it's like, all right, I know I'm going to ward somewhere. Like I may as well just veer for 2 seconds off, get like a small creep or something. I don't want to like completely mess up the jungle, but you can just pick up farm wherever, like by just throwing stuff into small camps or medium camps.
Yeah.
So
like
I
you
really
see
like that.
The Alpha Wolf camp, and you just like, oh, I'm going to throw a W, then a Q, walk away. On my way back, Q, auto click or auto attack twice, and then camp's dead. Yeah.
Exactly.
It makes sense. Yeah, Witch Doctor walk by. It's only like 14-second cooldown, so yeah, you can walk by, cask, fucking go ward, walk back, cask, dead camp. That makes
absolutely.
a ton of sense. He also has good damage, like 50-60. It's not like CM where like you need to get level 10 before you like CM can kill the one creep, and then she needs to expend like another frostbite before she can kill. Like you kill the tomato with one frostbite, and then you need a second frostbite to kill the tomato because she only has 30 damage. But Witch Doctor, like the cask, and you have 56, and it's super good. That makes me think of like Shadow Shaman. Like obviously Shadow Shaman has buffs, memes, 76 base damage and shit, really good at zoning, super valuable right now. And pushing is good, like high grounding is easier, so you just drop the wards and then you find your counter initiation off of how they decide to deal with your wards. But like he not only does he have the Ether Shock, but he has 76 damage to jungle with, like not just to zone. Like you do the Ether Shock and then you right click a like if you're killing the centaurs or whatever, like you get a 3 centaur stack, Ether Shock, auto attack, like you've basically killed the little boys, and then you just need to like auto attack down the big guy. Like it's honestly super fast jungling, especially for a support on the Shadow Shaman.
Yeah.
Holy shit, why you go fucking medallion on him? And not only is it a ton of mana, it solves your mana issues or whatever, but you fucking medallion someone, drop your wards, shackle them, deso wards, easy. And it makes you jungle fast as shit.
Do you know that
I'm into it.
Blightstone and Deso stack at the moment, by the way.
Do they?
From the same source. So you can have, like, because it always used to stack if two different people had them.
But they were, holy shit, dude. That's good.
Someone, I think it was Naki on Twitter, pointed that out, and I was like, that's ridiculous. That doesn't make sense. You're wrong. And then I tested it, and I was like, oh my god, this is silly. Also, there's currently a bug where you can buy Basher on Troll Warlord, Faceless Void, etc.
Well, you can
assume
always
that's going
buy
to get
them.
patched out by the time this is released.
You can always buy them. Do they work?
No, they work. Like, you will proc bashes.
Okay, demo mode.
Yeah, but yeah, so that will be fixed probably by the time this is out.
I'm just going to make sure
like
that happened. That's really interesting though.
Someone posted their logs, and I was looking at it.
The Deso thing is super cool because that's why I was like, oh man, Deso Druid's so good. I get the Deso on my bear and then Blightstone on my hero, and it's fucking incredible. But anyone can do that, so I'm mad because that was something that I liked. And like, there's already like, if you were interested in doing that, you were already getting like Solar Crest and Deso, right?
Proud, so, like, but here's that, right? You put Deso and Blightstone on your bear, and then you put Medallion on your hero, and then you have all three all at once.
Holy shit! I could already do that though, because I could have Medallion and Blightstone on my hero and Deso on my bear. It doesn't change anything, Sam. It doesn't fucking change anything. I hate it.
Okay, but still.
Okay.
I don't think none of the other supports really come to mind that are really good at jungling. Of course, like, your Enchantresses and Chen. I don't personally play any of those though, so I cannot speak to their validity. Earthshaker, even I've been toying around. I was watching a bunch of high level Earthshaker offlane players.
That doesn't work anymore.
Oh, okay, well, that was quick then.
Okay. Sorry, what were you saying?
I was watching a bunch of Earthshaker offlane players to do some research because I played it once and I was like, this is super fun, but I know I'm doing it wrong.
Change. Yeah.
Yeah. But what they do is you max Aftershock and you only have 1 point Fissure, 1 point Enchant Totem, and that's how you jungle. You kill things so fast with that, and it's even faster now if you have those smaller camps and you have more of them, whereas before you'd have to like, kind of struggle sometimes on some of the larger creeps. But it's pretty cool. So I may be playing around with some Earthshaker offlane and just Earthshaker support also. I don't know if that affects them tremendously, but it will make some degree of difference. None of those other sorts really come to mind, though. Maybe some that I'm not thinking of. Proud?
Yeah.
Venomancer, maybe?
I'm thinking.
I don't know. People don't really play Venomancer support.
Venomancer 4
I mean, people
totally
do.
okay.
I should say, yeah.
Maybe Wyvern to a degree, but it's just like one issue on talking about supports that absorb a ton of amount of farm is like the fact that like the way that they nerfed stacking was through magic resist stuff. So like if you ever do run into the centaur camp with those 2 little boys, it's just super tough. Like
yeah.
And they're the small ones too. So like normally you're like, oh, I want to deal a bunch of like you want to split your damage evenly, right? And so you want to like, okay, I want to be doing AoE magic damage and then auto attacking the big creep. Like that's how you work with cleave, right? When you have cleave, you hit the big guy because your cleave is less than your main hit. But with dealing with like Jakiro, I just want to kill those 2 little guys real quick, so the big guy is going to take more damage. But like it's just like inefficient no matter what you do.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, or if like you get mud golems, it's like, okay, well, I had a plan here, and RNG killed me. Okay, let's see. Do you have another point you want to talk about?
I guess just like I don't know. I honestly just wanted to go over like what heroes that you think are going to build up a bit again. And but like as far as offlaners go, like I feel like Bristles played more as a safe laner, but in pubs he's a totally fine offlane, and in certain aggressive dual lanes he's good. Like I think the way that Bristles played is in aggressive dual lanes for sure. But yeah, like I feel like Bristle's good. Axe is probably a bit better than he was before, just because he is one of those heroes that can blaze through the jungle. Timbersaw a bit more, because Timbersaw does actually jungle pretty quickly. He can't take Ancients, of course, outside of just like Timber Chain spam and against the little purple mutant satyrs. But yeah, like Legion, I think, did she get nerfed? I think she got nerfed a little bit, right?
Barely. Not enough.
What even happened to her? Like, I just kind of blocked that. But like Legion is still super strong, and even more so because she can just churn through the jungle. She's not reliant on the Iron Talon.
Legion Commander overwhelming odds mana cost increased from 100 to 100, 110, 120, 130. And then they changed her, they buffed her Aghanim Scepter so that people might actually buy it. So now it has BKB. And her respawn talent got replaced with plus 10% proc chance on Moment of Courage at level 20.
Okay, that makes sense.
So yeah, I mean, I think she's good.
Maybe
like
Lesh
she remains good.
I don't know.
Leshrac, I'm kind of not. I don't think Lesh is like a hero.
Okay,
like I kind of like fine. Lesh, but
yeah, we
don't
played
think
with
he's
Gravity
very good.
Playing it recently, and it was like not actually very good. Like I thought he was doing good, but I look at the score and I was like, oh no, Lesh kind of sucks, huh?
Yeah, Lesh is one of those heroes that even when it does well, I'm like, well, like I'd rather have you on a different hero that does a similar thing. Yeah, I'm kind of tapped. Like, hero wise, I still like. It's only been a few days.
Yeah,
I've definitely been seeing a lot more of. I mean, Sven is really the only standout I've been seeing more. I've been playing a bunch of OD again.
Yeah. Do you feel like OD really works with the jungle? Yeah, the extra creep in mid. There's like definitely a lot more like. Especially if you do get that range deny, like there's a lot more opportunity to do shit shit with OD for sure.
He's just so good at manipulating creep aggro and abusing the enemy mid laner that you can really be forceful with it and like leverage your body around basically and
I totally
really
agree.
get a lot of extra XP and stuff out of the lane.
Do you think Ember Spirit is like better because like I don't actually feel like I farm that much on Ember Spirit as soon as I hit my opening swing.
Creep waves.
Yeah, he's a bit more creep wave than jungle oriented, but you might say like to extrapolate off this a little bit, if my carry is less like if I don't, if I'm not having an Ursa carry every game, or like I guess Ursa kind of does but for like I'm trying to think of a carry that's like that's also like a lane farmer or something. Like if I had I don't know, I can't think of anything better than a Chaos Knight. So if I had a Chaos Knight or who's just going to farm a shit ton of like the lane because he can't actually jungle that fast, then Ember Spirit's going to be benefited because the other even like okay, so if I have an Enigma off lane or a CM or a Jakiro that can farm jungle or some shit like that, then there's going to be more lanes available for me to farm. Or if the enemy is more likely to be farming in the jungle, then the lanes are more open. So like maybe it bleeds over there, but I guess like yeah, until you get like Maelstrom, or if you're some kind of like insane human who still goes Battle Fury, until you get one of those like auto attack AoE damage generators, I guess it doesn't really help Ember that much. I really want it to though, man. I just want to be a really farmed Ember. That's all I want.
Yeah,
that's it.
I've actually been playing a lot of Ember recently.
Me too, dude. He's so fun. He's like unreal.
I took
fun.
a long break.
Yeah,
but yeah, I played 3 games in the last few days, and he's just so like good.
Just feels good.
Like, he's my go-to hero now where
really?
if I'm
That's
in a
cool.
mixed skill party, or if I'm in like a unranked game that's clearly mixed skill, I just pick him. And even when you pick him into counters, like you can just style on him. It's so fun.
No, and
like,
it like
yeah.
and like winning feels
Play
good
around
on
with the
him.
build too.
Yeah, and there's like it's his item builds are very engaging and like, oh, am I gonna go blade mail this game? Am I gonna go like fast maelstrom? Do I need a blink? I almost always go blink, but that's just because I love like when you play with those mixed skill parties or whatever, I just like I want to be able to like blink, slight chains, and then just fucking remnant back and be like, you thought I was going, but I wasn't, and you used your BKB. Ugh. Like that, I want that every time.
Any hero that can dodge stuff is instantly fun. Like Manta dodging on AM, like I just played this AM game I was talking about earlier against Sven, and I was like dodging all kinds of things. I dodged like probably a dozen Stormbolts that game, and it was like sometimes I'd put myself in bad positions just to dodge the Stormbolt and then be like, yeah, suck it.
Like, nice try, you fucking piece of shit. I will never be stunned by you or your shitty ass toolkit. Yeah, I will say, like Sven, I think Sven wins that matchup overall. Like I'm okay with being Sven against Anti-Mage. But I will say there's a lot of like if the AM ever gets ahead or if anything ever happens, like you feel bad in the matchup. Like you win it, but you don't feel good at any point in the game.
Yeah.
Like AM blinks and abyssals you and then fucking drains all your mana and you're like, okay.
I agree. Yeah.
And then like you wand and then you ulti, but you're still like, fuck you, dude. Like Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I actually just don't know what carry that I like to play that I play into Sven, honestly. Like, in this pub game, somebody was just like, I don't play carry. Like, it was the last two picks, and I was like, I can play mid or carry. What do you play? And he was, ironically, the lowest skill person, or lowest MMR person in this party.
Yeah.
Or in this unranked pub. But I was like, I'll play either. I don't care. And he's like, all right, I'm going to play Zeus. I was like, all right. And I just sat there for my the last 15 seconds of picking. It's like, all right. I don't know what carry to play against Sven, so I'm just going to pick AM because he is the new jungle and I want to have fun. And they had like an invoker and some other target for me and they had a coddle. And I was like, all right, there's going to be some cool bombs that I can ult.
Sure.
And I'm confident. And I had a good time. I had a great game until other things happened and our lanes went poorly. But I definitely don't like that matchup. I don't know what to pick into Sven. Like, what is your Sven counter that other than Timber Sub? Like, in a carry versus carry. Slark was the other one I was thinking about.
Slark is really good against Sven. Really easy to dodge his stuns. You're gonna go BKB if you're a good Slark anyways, or something at least to like break out of the Bloodthorn. Like as long as you avoid the Bloodthorn and you have something to deal with it, you probably aren't gonna get caught by the stun in general. And anytime like his BKB, like the way you counter Sven is like you have to understand that Sven is not a consistent threat. Sven is 5 seconds of terror and then he's nothing. It's like Five Nights at Freddy's, only it's 5 seconds, it's Sven's, and it's actually not that scary and it's kind of whatever. The issue is just that he's very, very large and those 5 seconds become like it's like a fucking flashpoint on the timeline. Like you need to have something happen then. And Slark has a fucking free goddamn flashpoint counter. Like, oh no, Sven, blink, he stuns, he BKB'd. And then you shadow dance, and Sven's like, like that's what he sounds like, and you're fine. And then oh hey, he's still got a 6 second BKB though. Shadow dance, it's only 4 seconds. You abyssal him. He's like, well, it's an 8 second BKB. Yeah, what happens after you bash him or you pounce? He already blinked. You're done. Like you're gone. And you know what happens when you fucking every auto attack you do, you drop his fucking attributes by 1. You know who doesn't like having his attributes dropped? A hero who's entirely based on their strength. And yeah, it's a lot of strength to work through, but like every time you hit, like he loses like 3 damage every time you hit him. It's absurd. So it's really good. And he'll get a little burst off on you, then you shadow dance, then you you hit him during your shadow dance when it's about to, you abyssal him when it's about to end, you leap away, and his entire BKB has been controlled off by your carry, who is now at full health. Like, it's unreal good. Slark is great against Sven. The only thing is like, oh, maybe he'll get big enough. But also like the other things you need to realize is Sven is actually not tanky anymore. Like people say, oh man, Sven is such a good counter to minus armor, but I actually hate going against PA right now. Yeah, you can go Bloodthorn, but she's always going to have a BKB to break out of it, so you need to do like Blink Stun Bloodthorn, and then after that, like most Svens just be like, I'll get Bloodthorn. I don't need fucking MKB. I'll just get Bloodthorn. That's Bloodthorn's everything. But no, like she gets out of it, and then you can never hit her again. Oh, I'll just cleave her. Like she'll blink away. She doesn't give a shit. She just doesn't care. And as soon as your war cry is off and you turn your Mask of Madness on, the hero has 3 armor and he just dies immediately. PA is actually relatively decent against Sven, in all honesty, and she does do pretty well with the jungle farming. I'm like so tempted to be like, can I go Battle Fury Deso again? Can I just go Slasher's Way from like fucking 2015 or some shit? Probably not, but it's tempting.
Yeah, I've been tempted to do some Battle Fury stuff that I know I shouldn't. Let's see. I haven't played any Jug, and I don't think you've played any Jug, so I don't know. Like, I want to talk about Jug, but I know neither of us have any experience in 7.06 Jug.
Yeah, I've played, I think, like 1 game, and I'm really tempted to just go like a really early Maelstrom, like FaZe, Aki, Yasha Maelstrom, something like that, and just like farm up a Storm. One thing that I've really realized on Jug is the blink isn't. It's not so much like, oh, I'm going to get a blink and just like blink Omni Slash, but like, what if my damage isn't high enough? The blink is not actually going to get me. Yeah, blink is a farming item. That's not for that. Yeah. It's like legit. I farm a camp and I blink. Sorry, you're allowed to talk. I'm a piece of shit.
That's fine. Well, because I thought I was going to agree with you, but then you were making a different point.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
I'm glad you kept talking. I've been skipping blink in favor of some other builds on Jug recently, where like I used to use blink, I suppose, more like as a crutch. And of course, I look at my last Jug game and I built blink. But I used to use it more, like I used to just build it every game, and like I'm definitely a blink player. Like I build blink more than any other item in the game on a lot of heroes that don't typically build blink either. So I just stopped building it for a while. Like I was like, right, I have a Manta, I have phase boots, and I was playing with my drums build too. And I was like, dude, I move at like 8,000 movement speed. I don't need a blink dagger so that I can get in these fights. Like I'm already in these fights. I'd rather have a fighting item, a stat item, whatever. Yeah, I started playing with blink more situationally rather than just default every game. I go Manta and then I get Diffusal and then I get Abyssal and then I get blink. Like I've enjoyed playing around without blink recently because you just natively have so much move speed on the hero. Rest in peace, 5 move speed as of 7.05 though. But yeah, I really want to test out Jug. And like I definitely feel you on the Maelstrom thing, or like dare I say some kind of weird Battle Fury build where like you get. I don't even know, like, Maelstrom is just too much damage. Like, it's just too effective compared to Battle Fury. Yeah. And, like, it scales better, too, right? Because you build all this get all this attack speed from it, which suits all your other stat items and all your other fighting items. It's like, the only time I build Battle Fury is if I'm, like, against a Nature's Prophet, and I know the game's going to go late, and I don't want to be that sad guy in the corner that's like, oh, I need somebody to break me out of these trees.
Yeah, no, I get you. Actually, I did just lose a game on Sven yesterday because I blinked into trees in the middle of a team fight.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad. It was, and like 2 days ago, I was, this was like the most absurd shit. We were fighting at the dire off lane, like tier 2, you know, where there's like a spire that's right behind their tier 1. And then there's another spire that's like behind their tier 2. The spire that's near the tier 1, like right looking over the shrine, we were like smoked up there, and I had a life stealer inside of me. I was on axe and I blink called, but I was too, like my mouse was like a little bit too far, so it just blinked me right on top of the fucking shrine, or the spire, and the life stealer was in me like, what the fuck did you just do? And I was like, guys, this team fight's not going to go well, because I did effectively taunt them, but then they were just aware that I was on the fucking spire, and they just like killed both of us, and Lifestealer pops out like, I hate you so much.
Man, could you have like oriented into like one of the corners so Lifestealer could pop out onto the floor? He doesn't pop out.
We tried that, but it didn't send him there.
Yeah, I actually had a similar mistake recently. I think it was in one of my Earthshaker games where it was a Bane game. That's what it was. I force-staffed myself up a cliff, and I didn't have a blink dagger. And it wasn't like a productive, like, oh man, I'm cliffed. They can't hit me. It was like oh my god, I'm cliffed like 15 feet away from this fight. I'm an idiot, and everybody knows it. I also sold my phase boots last PA game I played. That was really shameful of me. I'm not gonna lie. I was like free farming I had like 70 CS at 10 minutes or more, and I was doing great. It was so fun. And then I was like, I was trying to sell a tango, and I accidentally sold my phase boots. And I was like, oh my god, my great starting game is now just a mediocre game. Yeah, I've had a few of those to make that are too bad. Do we want to wrap this up? Do we have any last closing moments before
I keep
we
talking
like?
forever, dude. You're like super cute and like really attractive, and we have good conversations. I don't know.
We don't have forever. We have an hour and 13 minutes or so.
Really, things that I should be doing, honestly.
Yeah. So closing notes. What are you looking forward to most in testing in the next week, and then we'll talk about it next week.
Okay, I'm definitely gonna refine my Lone Druid. Definitely expect a Lone Druid game next week. I think we've played Sven enough, and it's pretty straightforward. Like, oh, Sven, it's like before, only now you farm, and you can go Echo Saber again, and you have a lot of different options. You can go SNY, you can skip SNY, you can go Windlace instead of SNY, you can go Echo Saber, you can fucking whatever. But I wanna experiment with Jug, like you were saying. I wanna try Tiny out. We didn't really touch on that, but Tiny is another hero that like farms a ton of jungle, pretty efficiently. And so I feel like Tiny might be interesting. Plus, he gained 4 more base damage, right? And the fact that you can like base damage is so important for mid now. There's more creeps, and you can rocket yourself ahead. And Tiny is one of those rotation heroes. Like, you want to get Blink Dagger and then rotate, or you can just get a rune and then rotate. And like a Tiny rotation is a terrifying thing. Quap also I feel like is really worth looking at. And Terrorblade as a counter to Sven, I think, is cool, and just looking to see if heroes are getting Blade Mail again. I feel like, or not Blade Mail, Battle Fury, because I feel like Jug Battle Fury may come back to a degree, but it's probably going to be Maelstrom. I'm just interested in which of the two we really end up seeing, or if just like nothing changes, because there's always like this is what I said before on like when your lane is going really well, you could change everything up, or you could just accept that things are just better for you now. And Jug may just be that way. You're just like, fuck it, Maelstrom, or like go. Aki, Manta, Blink, Maelstrom, and like that's still good, so I'm not going to change it. It's just I have more creeps to farm now. I don't know.
Yeah.
Shadow Fiend is also the best mid right now, for sure. Like, Shadow Fiend all day, every day. Like, why would I not play more Shadow Fiend now?
Yeah, he's crazy good. Yeah, so I think my list of heroes that I want to mess around with, I definitely want to play Night Stalker.
Wait,
I've not.
Do you think Alchemist is gone? That's the big fucking that's the question. Is Alchemist gone?
Yeah, he's worse. I don't think he's gone.
He's not gone.
I think he's still going to be that hero where it's like, all right, I'm the highest MMR player, or like he's going to definitely be one of those things where it's like I can carry a team if I just rock it on Alchemist. I can just tell my friends to make stacks for me.
Yeah,
I definitely think he's weaker.
That's my favorite way to throw games, is to do that, and then you actually have a bad lane. Oh, excuse me. Then you have a bad lane, it doesn't work out, and then you just feel like a fucking idiot because you're like, well, everyone make space for me as I slowly try to get my 18-minute radiance.
Yeah, I'm definitely not an Alchemist player, so I have not tested it out, nor will I be testing it anytime soon, I don't think. I looking at the nerfs, Tim, I feel like the nerfs were big, but on the same hand, now you have all these extra jungle creeps.
Right, so it's kind of like the Legion thing where, you kind of nerfed her, but she loves the jungle. Girl loves her jungle.
Yeah, so Alchemist, I'd say the jury's out on that one so far.
Okay, we'll see. I mean, last time he got nerfed to shit, and then he was fine. Like, I was laughing hysterically at Acid Spray, and then we go and OG is first picking him, and I'm like, well, never mind, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so the heroes I'm looking to try out, I definitely want to try Night Stalker with his new what's it called? W, his Hunter in the Night.
Oh yeah,
active.
The fly thing.
I played
That's
with
so
it.
Cool.
It was so cool, and people.
Yeah, man.
People are talking about skipping Aghanims now because you get 1200 AoE flying vision when you use that.
I don't think
or
I would
like
do
at least
that,
delaying Aghanims.
just because the idea of like keeping a gem around you when you're going it. But I guess maybe. Yeah, I mean it's expensive. Sure, maybe. Okay.
And it's only like 50 mana, and it's on like a 14-second cooldown or something.
Is it that short? Oh Jesus! If it was like 30 seconds, I would still definitely go the Ags. But
I think you still go Ags. But so I played the really good Night Stalker in one of my pubs, and he just went like Phase, Urn, Iron Talon, Halberd because the enemy team had a Sven.
That's cool.
And it was dope. Like,
wow, another evasion item. I'm really glad that we can build that. Let's keep buffing Halberd so that I can get disarmed and also need an MKB. That's awesome. I'm super into that.
And other than that, I want to try some Winter Wyvern, but the thing is, like, I've been first picking a lot of my supports, so Winter Wyvern is definitely still relegated to that, like, what's it called, position, where it's like, oh, I need to be reactionary. Like, she's a counter pick here. That's the word I'm looking for.
Oh god, this is so cool. Hunter in the Night is so fucking cool.
Yeah, those are the big ones. And I basically want to try all the heroes that I was not able to play last patch. Like all my favorite heroes, like Kunkka.
Yeah.
I want to play Razor. Like Razor didn't get big buffs or anything. Like he got some small buffs.
What would you get on him to like actually take advantage of the jungle? Like, would you go a Maelstrom at some point just for fucking memes and lightning? Like, or would
I
you
think
just
so.
farm slowly?
I think so. Like you could go Maelstrom, or you could farm two camps at once with the circle thing.
Yeah, that sounds.
Or you make,
or
you do what you used to do. No, you do what you used to do, and you make stacks, and then you take them with your first charge of ult. You ult stack.
No, that's pretty good. Yeah, the ult does a ton of damage, and it's physical too, right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter with the stacking magic damage resistance. Okay.
I just like Razor. And like maybe that's just because I don't play a lot of him, but like it's
because he's out of meta. Like when he's in meta, Razor's obnoxious, but when he's out, it's like, oh, I found a way to make this weird ass motherfucker work.
It's more like I used to hate Razor because he's one of those heroes that like I felt obligated to play in certain matches.
He was like Viper.
Yeah, exactly, and that's why I don't like Viper.
Like Viper 2.0.
Yeah, but Razor, now that like I have freedom to just kind of be like, oh man, maybe this would be fun to do.
Yeah,
I can play him. But when it's like, oh, they pick Dragonite, you got to pick Razor or else we lose. I'm like, well, this sucks. I'm gonna abandon.
Yeah.
So but nowadays I would just pick OD and he would cry because I'd do the orb build, and boy, that's so much fun.
Yeah.
I love OD.
Oh, God, yeah. Or build, feel like as soon as you're OD against Ember Spirit, and Ember's like, I'm doing pretty good in this lane. And then you hit level 4 and it's like, buddy, hey, you gotta go.
Yep.
You gotta.
Not anymore.
You don't even have a shrine yet. It's 3 minutes and 40 seconds because I denied your range creeped a bunch.
Yeah.
And I know you got your ult soon, but you gotta just get out of here. You don't have ants anymore.
Yeah, I've been using OD as a counterpick to Storm mid. Let me see if this game.
Oh yeah, that's good. So, have you? I think against Storm maybe you could go without Astral, but I feel like I don't know because like I always want I want my orb in 2 points and Essence Aura at 3. Like I want that, but you have to get Astral, so you have to wait till 4, and then you're like 2-1-2. But I just like maybe I just have shit luck with OD, but I always like I see pros and they just like they're just lobbing those orbs and you're just like this is great, I'm just orbing all day.
Yeah,
and then I'm like my mana's gone all the time and it sucks.
Yeah, I was doing so. I actually looked at some high level pub players and I did 1-1-2 at 4, and then I just did 1-1-3 at 5 because I was like I need mana, and then at 6 then I have 2-1-3, and then I ended up. I think it was like 3-1-3 at 7, and then 3-1-4 at 8.
Okay. Yeah, no, that's cool. That makes sense. Yeah, I think not going because like I mean the 2 points in orb gets you 2 int, like literally doubles the int you steal, so that's like attractive, but it also increases the mana cost to 120, and you're like, it's only a 15% chance to restore your mana.
Yeah, it's rough.
And you don't have as many shrines. Your mana when you get it too. Okay, I always forget that Essence Ore increases your mana by like 75 each time you level it up. Yeah, and you don't have shrines. Like it seems rough.
Yeah. Okay. Well, so that's that. Anyway, I suppose. Yeah. We will be, of course. What is? I want to figure out. Like, you have to help me figure out what support I'm playing now. I played a Jakiro game and it was pretty fun, but I'm not sure if that's the support I play now. I should probably just play Shadow Shaman. I keep forgetting Shadow Shaman is like really fun to play now. So I'll play Shadow Shaman. Is that okay? Does that give your seal of approval, or is there another support? Honestly, I don't like him, and like all the people hyping up freaking Shadow Shaman mid like bother me.
I think it's more. Oh yeah, hyping up Shadow Shaman mid definitely is not good. Skrunk is allowed to play it because he's an absurdly talented Shadow Shaman player for no reason. But in general, it sucks.
It just scares me when people are like they do these niche things and then it spreads into regular people, and I'm like Visit. If we talk about Visit, I'm gonna get another angry email.
Can we say like you did try the Ags and the concept of a core Bane and it just fucking sucks? Like it's just not a thing. Like it's not.
I haven't tried it, but I can say that it sucks.
Did you go Bane Ags? Yes or no?
No, I didn't. But Grouty did.
You told me. Okay, that's
that's what I was saying. I was talking to Grouty about it.
Okay. Well, I don't listen. I'm sorry, dude. This whole podcast has just been me talking over you, and I feel really bad. Like, if I look at the Zencaster, I feel bad saying, I guess you did a patch review. So, everyone, he did a patch review and I didn't. So, this is why I'm allowed to talk as much as I am. This is not a mark against me personally. It's okay. It's approved, sanctioned.
Yeah. It's all good, dude. I just want to
keep talking, dude. Fuck.
Okay, well, do it on, I was going to say the Friday show, but that's Breaky Show.
Yeah, no, I'll talk to Roland at some point.
Make a competing podcast.
Else? Yeah, I could actually do that.
You couldn't do that illegally. You signed a
Oh, that's right. Contract. I did actually sign a contract under DocuSign, which is very vaguely legal.
Yeah. Okay. I'm about done talking about this for now, and then we're gonna do plugs and leave. Because
is Sand King going to be the new God support? Is he going to like retain his throne as like our champion boy, like our shining golden boy? Okay, I'm looking forward to talking about Sand King being really good again because I feel like we kind of missed a lot of that.
Yeah, we definitely got off his train, but we're gonna get on the next stop.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, each compartment is one of the little segments of his tail, like one of the little joints. That'd be really cute. There's like a fucking Sand King themed railroad in like Japan. I'd like that.
Crixalis United.
Yeah, the captain is, have like a cat that's a captain of some like some train to be a scorpion, and it'd be like really dangerous, and it just walks around and people die intermittently. But that's like
scorpions aren't that dangerous. Most are not poisonous.
Have you seen? Yeah, Crixus. I guess Crix isn't even. No, I guess Caustic Finale is poisonous. It's mostly just when he slaps his big old tail that fucks you up. But he does have Caustic as well, so that's probably still bad.
Yeah, that's fair.
All right, you can close the show. I'm just such a fucking awful human.
All right,
dude, have you seen his set, the Ironclad Mold? This is terrifying. Like, oh my god, he's like a bug, and then it's like fucking Mecha Godzilla.
Yeah, I think I have that set.
It's terrifying. Fuck this set.
It's a great set. Okay, so you can catch us on our fundraiser stream this weekend, Saturday, from
are we playing Dungeons
6
and Dota?
p.m. I believe that's what we're doing for this weekend.
Oh my god,
yes.
I'm so excited.
We are going to be doing a 12-hour stream from 6 p.m. Eastern to 6 a.m. Eastern, and you can translate that into whatever time zone you choose. We'll probably be playing some Dota, but Dungeons and Dota, I believe, is going to be our first stream. You can contact us on Discord and make sure 100%, because I know Cyphus is still writing up the campaign and getting character sheets done and all that. We'll be doing a bunch of these 12-hour streams, though, over the next few months, because we are fundraising our Road to TI. And we have a Kickstarter running that let's see, do I have a link to? 1 second. If you go to, well, it's kind of long, but it's, because I'm not going to read it off, but it will be plugged all over the streams and stuff. We're going to be doing all kinds of interactive stuff. You can do 1v1s with us. You can do all kinds of stuff.
What is
interactive? Interactive.
What does that mean?
Acting with other things, intermingling.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay. I can do that. I think I've done that before.
So yeah, look out for that. That's a Twitch stream, twitch.tv/.btv. I've been streaming a lot more on that. Roland streams every day. We stream in-houses. In-houses started back up Wednesday, and they're going to be running obviously until TI, and that's season 5. We got some cool new stuff running. You can visit our website, defenseofnations.com. There's an Amazon banner at the bottom that you can click. It has a free Amazon Prime trial that costs you nothing, obviously. You can also buy .p shirts. We've got some new shirts coming out too on our store page on our website. And you can email us questions for the Tuesday Q&A, which will be running again, of course, next week, despite the fact that it got canceled this week because of patch notes. That will be at 9 p.m. Eastern if you want to make a live call and, ask your question. Otherwise, send us good or garbages, send us average questions, whatever. You can join us on Discord and chat about the patch, chat about whatever. Discord.gg/.p. And I'm on Twitter at Ursinity. Proud is at Proud Dota. Our show is at .p_show. That's a great way to contact any and all of us. And iTunes reviews help us out tremendously as well. There are probably plugs I forgot. As always, patreon.com/defenseofthepatients. Again, if you like what we do and you want to support us, there are any number of ways to do so. So thank you, everybody, and goodbye. Enjoy the patch. And something about theories.
Play this patch, and also if you ever want to talk to me about it ever, clearly I have way too much energy to talk about this Dota 2 patch, so message me on Discord or whatever. I was just talking to Condor about shit, and there's a lot of really cool things to talk about. Anyway, goodbye. All right, you can close the show now, Sam. I know you already did, but
it's been our theory.
Yes,
it's been our theory, and we need to test it. 7.06,
we need to test
guys.
It. Yes.